So, hello everyone. Welcome to our weekly Discord call. I think we can kick things off pretty much now. So, thank you for joining. We have quite a few fun stuff that we're happy to share with you. Um, so, I will kick things off immediately. Matteo, just let me know if you can see my screen sort of properly, because I don't have full control of what's going on. But yeah,
Everything's good.
good.
We
So,
can see.
as everybody has noticed, we're getting ready for season two. We're getting really excited. I'll make sure that next week I also get Theo inside our call to introduce him, and because he's been the one working, let's say, closest with Cedric to bring everything together. And I will get the chance to show you some stuff today, which I'm really excited about. But so yeah, let's see what's going on this week with Ayuna. So I'll get this first out. As you all know, for you've known it for I think at least over a week. We've implied it for a bit more, but yes, we're super happy that today officially we are also launching on Gate.io, and we are particularly happy about listing on Gate.io compared to a few other sort of exchanges that we were talking to, that we were quite interested in listing. But what Gate I think brings for us specifically is that it opens up primarily a region and a community that we do not have a lot of access to. So that's a great opportunity, maybe a chance for people to find out about Ajuna Network and Bajun Network, and why not play the Awesome Ajuna Avatars. And the second thing that we're really excited about it that it seems to be an exchange with quite a bit of support from our ecosystem. A lot of projects are listed there. So it seems that already quite a few of the community, maybe some of you also included, have already their accounts and have been using it. So Bayou is live. There is, I think, or there was a competition running until yesterday on Gate.io. And hopefully we'll continue this trend and see what else that makes sense we can add down the line, whether that's another centralized exchange or, as we are currently also looking into, a few decentralized, let's say, options. Definitely something that we're looking into, and super happy to have Gate here, where we're going to be. You can also now find our Bayou token. But next, let's go a bit into the agenda of what we're going to talk a bit today. So I'll start obviously with the main thing that, as you can see from the team, Andre, Matteo, myself, Dan, we're sort of we're trying to relieve a bit. Cedric, don't poke him too much. Poke the rest of us as much as you can. We're starting our onboarding. We thought that that was something that we saw as the most successful activity of what we did in preparation for season one. We tried different things, and we will try different things, right? From partnerships to paid advertisements to creating content to reaching out to different communities here and there. But I think sort of this whole idea of trying to use, let's say, Discord as the place that we all hang out, right, and sort of try to funnel as many people as we can in here, I think gives us a really good chance to be able to introduce them to what it is that we're doing. Now, people, as you notice, will come in here for different reasons, right? People may come in here for, to sell their services or their product. May come in here simply to figure out how they can get a few free tokens. People may come in here just to sort of mess with us. People may come in here to genuinely find more information about what's going on, and others may come in here because they just want to play. Now, we have to be welcoming to, I would say, most of them, unless people are being rude to us or anything like that, or we're seeing that by our actions we're incentivizing, let's say, a really bad behavior. So coming here to play Awesome Ajuna Avatars, even if you have a financial incentive for doing so, that's not a bad thing. I don't think that's sort of a negative thing. But for us, the funnel is pretty clear. Get people in here, get them excited about what it is that they can do currently within our ecosystem and our products, and entice them and show them what it is that we can bring to you and how we can grow our community to the future. So we'll talk a bit about season onboarding and how you can help us. Then we'll talk a bit about the legendary from the founders. I think it's about time. It's a combination of things for us. I mean, I don't know it so much that we're celebrating the listing on Gate.io, but it's more sort of a thank you for making season one really fun for us, and really engaging and giving us, let's say, the strength to go on for season two and make it bigger, better, faster. Well, faster, we'll see. Slower, bigger, faster, slower. That's sort of our motto for season two. Then I'd also like to touch a bit about Polkadot Decoded. This is not specifically, I would say, an Ajuna Network news, but it's an ecosystem activity. It's an ecosystem event. It's important, and I think it's good that we start in this weekly introducing a few other things that are going on in the community and see how we can start thinking how we can add value to the greater picture. And last but not least, I will do a first showing of the adventures. Not too much, but I will show something. Now, you may have missed it, but my background here was a hint, but I missed it. Now, season two onboarding. What does it mean, and sort of how do we move from one season to another? So it all starts with the base and all of the good habits and the good patterns that we created in season one. And how we grow into season two is a combination of things. It's how we take sort of how we, the team, Ajuna Network, with you, sort of the OGs that we have created from this season one, we take our Awesome Ajuna Avatars from that first season to see if we can incentivize people to come and join, and reach out to the general sort of community within Polkadot, but and outside sort of that community of people who are interested in NFT gaming or interested in Web3 experiences, or people who are, let's say, even apprehensive towards the whole Polkadot ecosystem, and they want to just get a first experience. Awesome Ajuna Avatars Season 2 is a great first way to get introduced to the general Polkadot ecosystem. Not only you will find access to all of the different wallets, right? So to be able to get onboarded nice and easily and quickly. Immediately you'll be able to use an application within that ecosystem, which would be the Season 2. And then if you do like it and you do enjoy it, as you all know, we will have adventures where you can explore different aspects, such as staking and other stuff that we will be showing. So it's a combined effort that should all of this knowledge, all of this sort of activities that we did, how can we sort of bundle it all together, create sort of the right type of narratives, the right type of messages, and try to get as many people as we can here in Season 2. I hope that the incentive is there for you too, to try and help. If you have any ideas of how we can better onboard new people, or you've been in communities that you think would be a good match, do not hesitate to reach out to us and see what we can do to bring them together. That could be from communities within the ecosystem, other NFT projects or Web3 games that you yourselves are interested in, or even guilds that you have, let's say, been a part of. So yeah, as you know, we've done sort of this exclusive OG onboarding. It's sort of our first effort to see how together with you we can start reaching out, and we'll try different things and see what works best and how we can best engage with you and incentivize you. Again, any ideas of how best not only we can incentivize you to support us, but also how you think we can get an audience in here, more than welcome to share. But one thing's for sure, we have a lot of content and we need to start sort of showing it. So we ourselves will start making as much content as we can, and make sure that we're sharing it in our Discord channels for you to be able to grab it, share it here and there. I think content is a good way, and since we are in the gaming space and we have the pleasure of having Patrick creating awesome visuals, or myself miking about on canvas and doing things like this, but we can share them for sure. Also, please go on our YouTube channel. I mean, we have some really sort of good videos that we're starting to produce. Again, it's a channel that it takes time to grow. Use it. There's a few videos that you can use to spread around, whether that's about the Awesome Ajuna Avatars, or even if you think that you want to go deeper and show people the work that we're doing on our Unity SDK, which I'll share a bit more about that soon. Also, please go on these and do it. And also, I hope you're all amazed by my glittery magic line in my presentation. Took a lot of time to choose that. On to the next part. Discord also. You can go for content. You can go for content on YouTube to find things that are interesting, but you can also go through our Discord in different channels and answer a lot of the questions or find a lot of the information that you may be looking for. Now, whether that's going to our welcome to OG onboarding, there you will find both sort of the general idea of how we're doing it and what's the steps of taking somebody, a new user, and making him a mini OG. So maybe I'll just go over that, what we're currently doing. So if somebody joins our Discord server, or if you invite somebody to our Discord server, all they have to do is eventually reach out to one of us from the team and DM us. Now, what we are trying to establish there is a couple of things. We want to make sure that we're not getting all of these people sort of jumping in from what would traditionally sort of considered farm accounts or things like that, and we just try to have a conversation. Again, we have no problem with people coming in here for a financial incentive. We want to engage with people in terms of we're looking for engagement, right? We're just looking for your time to spend in the game. Clearly, if the game is successful, there's a chance that you also can make a financial return, and that's fine. We just want to make sure that our people are coming in here for the right reason. So you come in here, you DM one of the team members, then we will onboard you as, let's say, a mini OG, which we will give you a vested transfer of 20 Bajun tokens, which are vested for 2 minutes, and they unlock then, which at that point you have the chance to go get yourself an Awesome Ajuna Avatar. So it's essentially a one-time transaction that you can do either with us directly, or you can go in the market and get a Bajun, and that will then get you whitelisted also for season 2 and get ready for the OG role. So that's what we're trying to do. Use on Discord channel. There's a lot of information there. Also, Cedric created a really, really nice side channel in the Welcome to G, which is need help with onboarding. So if anybody wants to be active, we're here. Reach out to us if you'd like to help. We'd appreciate it, and that's where you can find a bit more info. So back to the founder legendary thank you. So yes, this is sort of the thank you for everything that you've done, sort of sticking around and playing Awesome Ajuna Avatars, giving us a chance to expand this and see where it can take us and how we can create an inclusive community around gaming that embraces, let's say, the Web3 ethos that we're trying to build towards. So we will be giving out a legendary. There's no request per se. I'm sure Matteo has who's everybody in here. And we will get that off the market, and we will be sharing information about that legendary giveaway towards the end of the call. So stick around if you want to be eligible. But what I can ask for you to do before that is that go on our YouTube channel, right? I mean, I don't know how many people, 10, 20, 30, 50, as many as we are in here. Go on our YouTube channel, subscribe to it, like the videos. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference for us for discoverability. So please do that. And also give some like to our Instagram channel. We have decided to give it a go and start growing it. Not too much. We're going to keep posting all of these beautiful pictures that Patrick and obviously myself are creating there, and see if we can get a audience which is visually, let's say, at least interested in us. Again, it costs you nothing. It helps us a lot for discoverability. Like and follow the channels. Would really appreciate that. Polkadot Decoded. So this is a lot of fun. This was my also first, I would say, so like a bit of backstory time. This was also my first event in the Polkadot ecosystem, and it was our first, let's say, big event for Ajuna Network last year in June. I think it was in, I want to say Amsterdam. I think it was in Amsterdam. I may be wrong. It might have been in Berlin. I'm not sure. I'm pretty stuck now where it was. So back then, the whole idea is what was the best way that we could present why we are here, right? Sort of our reason of existence. I won't say the French one to not butcher the French term. So what we did, which was a lot of fun for us to create back then, we essentially created the story, right? Sort of taking the story of Cedric, Andre, and myself through the eyes of the Mogwai characters, and tell that story of how we took our experiences to trying to build games in the ecosystem, and how that journey took us to Substrate, where not only we solved or sort of we found a way that we can start solving issues that we were facing with our game, which later on became what you know today as Battlemogs, but also how it opened the eyes for us to create a solution which was much bigger than a game itself, and sort of was the backstory of Ajuna Network. Now this year, it's equally exciting and also a bit of a different format this year. So this year, it's not the community that's selecting the topics that are going to be voted for. It's a committee within, I don't know, Hogwarts, I guess, something like that. I don't know who's deciding. We've made a few submissions, a few really interesting ones. We're really, really excited to showcase some things around our Unity Substrate. So hopefully that's the one that we get to present there. And I think that's probably going to be also the first time that you're going to see Ajuna plus, let's say, somebody or some people talking about something now a lot bigger than a journey that we started, Cedric started a couple of years ago with the Ajuna Substrate SDK, which currently we're making a big effort to turn this into an ecosystem-wide SDK, which will open the doors not only for Ajuna Network to, for let's say, core gaming experiences, but for other parachains to be able to host their own gamify or gaming experiences within the Polkadot ecosystem. And again, Unity is not only, although it's primarily associated with games, there are a lot of other applications from architecture to art that use Unity in different ways, and enabling the tool is something that we're really, really excited, and hopefully a big part of why we're going to be there pushing gaming on Polkadot at Decoded. And yeah, merch, right? I have a hat. We like merch, you know. We lose a lot of time trying to choose which ones we want, but we enjoy it. Hopefully, we'll squeeze some time in to produce something pretty fun and exciting. I don't know, maybe some season 1, season 2, or some Ajuna avatars, or we'll see. But I'll go now to the part that's I'm most excited to share a bit about. We've been talking about this. You've heard it for now a few months' time. The whole idea of how your experience in season 1 with Awesome Ajuna Avatars does not end after that first month or 5 or 7 days, how much, let's say, the game lasted in its full glory. But we talked about it early on. The whole idea is how we can take communities, whether that's our own community or whether that's other teams and developers who could then be launching their own seasons, how they can take a community in an adventure that can not only give them what they're there for, right? At the end of the day, they're here for the gaming, but also enrich it in the different ways that we all see in Web3. So one of those ways is the adventures that we have talked about again. All of you are quite sort of familiar with these types of adventures if you've played, whether that's mobile games or simulation games. A big part of these games, a big part of the game loop has to do with, for example, me playing Sims, where, okay, I want to cook. In order to cook, I have to go get sort of 3 ingredients, which I need to pay for with my digital Sim coins. And then I have to go to the kitchen. And in order to cook it, it takes 3 hours, right? So I need to throw all of the ingredients inside, and then I have to leave it, right? Sort of there's a cooldown period. Now, the cooldown period obviously is not because there needs to be any digital cooking, right? I mean, it doesn't take, a digital stew takes a second or an hour. It's the same thing. But it's part of the game loop in order to enable a mechanic or sort of to enable a type of experience that you were doing. So it's the same thing as you want to think about Kusama. It's, 12-second blocks. Sucks, it's slow. Depends what you're doing. If you and I are trying to play Call of Duty in 12 seconds, it's going to be something completely different. It's not going to be Call of Duty. It's probably going to be, how do they call the Battlefield? What's the thing with the ships that you throw blindly rocks to one, submarine to another, and see if it hits? C2. You missed. But for Awesome Ajuna Avatars, as you saw, if you include that in the mechanic, you include that technology limitation into the mechanic, it makes sense. So season 2 is all about taking now our Awesome Ajuna avatars, our legendary Awesome Ajuna avatars, and taking them to explore the universe that we're trying to open up here. So it's how we take it from these initial ideas, these Mogwais, initially for season 1, and take them into pilot school, as you've heard before, equip them with their own spaceship, and send them onto adventures. So just a few behind the scenes or sort of work in progress things that we can show you what you're going to be able to do. So as you can see here, let's say I'm about to go to pilot school. I need to enlist for my pilot license. And I can see sort of that my inventory, sort of my experience here is quite different. I have my avatars, right? My season 1 Awesome Ajuna avatars, my legendaries. I have an inventory. I have missions that I can look at. And maybe I can show you a little bit what a mission would look like. It's a bit of a cheat what I'm doing, but I think it's allowed until somebody interrupts me. So this is work in progress. I think you all understand what work in progress means. So this would be the idea of going, let's say, on an adventure mission with your legendary Awesome Ajuna avatar, whether that's season 1 or season 2. So you'll have missions that you can select for, and there'll also be ongoing missions which you're currently participating. So, for example, Mrs. Larissa's Curious Disappointment as a mission has certain requirements that, for example, I can choose if I like this one to join it. So let's say that I take this mission, I get to join it, and then I can go through my assets and see what do I need in order to participate in this mission. So it says that, look, I need a legendary, right, which is sort of a season 1 empathy one or something like that. I need a spaceship and I need a pilot license. So then I can go through my inventory, I can select which one I want to take with me, which ship I want to be traveling with, and make sure that I'm equipped with the right license, and then start my mission. Now at that point, I'm, my superior is telling me that you're about to go on a mission, it's going to last for 14 days, shit may happen, so you need to sign. So I sign, I lock everything, right? And at this point, that's what sort of the part that this is the NFT, let's say, side of the discussion, and we can start our mission, and off we are going. And we can see sort of in this mission that, so for example, Mrs. Larissa mission, which I just started, can give me, it lasts for 14 days, and I can get an estimated value of 14,000, let's say, by you. But at the same time, I have another mission which is ongoing and probably just finished. And since the mission is finished, I'm ready to dock, right? All I have to go back to the station, make sure that I can dock and see what my loot is. And then sort of once my mission is done, I pick up my loot and I'm a happy camper. So I'm not going to show anymore. I don't think it's appropriate, let's say. So yeah, that's a bit of what we've been cooking in the background for the adventures. There's quite a lot of work to be done. Don't be tricked by all of the beautiful things that you see on screen. It's much harder than it appears. And we need some time to get everything to the level that we wanted. But it seems that we're very excited about how it is that we're going. We're very excited about the narratives that we can create around it. We're excited about the type of adventures that you would be able to go on yourselves. And also really, a really fun part is then as we progress from one season to the other, and as we start adding new people, new species, sort of, or new things here, how all of these adventures will start opening up. As we described adventures, the way that we have them, let's say, designed in our head right now, there's always going to be two paths. There's always going to be missions that are going to be, let's say, season specific, where participants who have put the time in and enjoyed that season to get their legendary Awesome Ajuna avatar of that season will have access to. And obviously there's going to be missions which are going to be, let's say, season agnostic, right? Sort of available for all legendaries across all different seasons. A lot of different ideas of how we can enrich this, but one step at a time is what wins the race, I think. So, yeah, I think that's my update for the week, which it's 4:30. I think it's perfect, so we can start. Maybe any questions that you all have, I'm more than happy to take. Let me also open the chat so I can see what all talking about.
Yes, we have already a few.
Shoot. Yep. Yeah, maybe if you have some already in mind, Matteo, more than happy to take them.
Yes, so Manon says, where does the loot paid to missions participant come from? Treasury?
Where does the
So
yes?
it's asking from.
So the question is, where does the loot come in for the missions that we're going to be giving out? Yes, it's coming out from the treasury. As we had explained, I think it was in an earlier a weekly call, maybe a few weeks ago that we talked about it, but it's a good question, worth maybe expanding a bit on it. Our intention for Bajun Network is for this to be, you can look at it as the community network, right? So um, as we are moving forward and building towards our Polkadot solution, so that would be our enterprise, let's say, level solution. We want to make sure that we have used Kusama for exactly what was intended for. Make and break things, experiment, and find an audience which will support you in your future sort of endeavor. That's what it was created for. Step one, we did it, right? We created an on-chain experience using everything that's at our disposal, and we'll continue doing the same thing. And we will use our treasury, and you can see it even sort of in the distribution. Even the team doesn't have an allocation of the Bayou um, um, token allocation. It's intended to be given out over the next, hopefully, 2 years, essentially to the community, sort of for engagement in order to grow this as much as possible. So by the time that sort of this takes its course, that then we can transfer everybody over to Ajuna Network. So yeah, it's going to be taken from the treasury. The treasury is there to incentivize activity. We are against throwing, let's say, tokens in airdrops. I understand a free mint is an airdrop, or I understand that what you may be thinking that I'm giving you now some tokens, but we're giving them tokens in order to be able to come and engage in a game. That's sort of our metric. It's what happens on chain during our game.
Really cool. Milan, already the day one, is asking when we start to play. He cannot wait.
So let's see. Missions will take a bit of time. So missions will probably launch after we've launched season 2 of the Awesome Ajuna Avatars. So May is the expected, as we said, mid to end of May is when we launch season 2, and pretty much after that, it's summer adventures for Awesome Ajuna Avatars, and probably also for season 2 Awesome Ajuna Avatars. That's our current plan. There's a couple of things here. So there's the user experience, right? Sort of, which what you saw now is as I said, the surface of it. There's a lot of things that need to happen from Cedric, Didac, and Eric from the team on the back end to make sure, and also because there's activities here that involve staking and things like that. A degree of auditing and sort of making sure of testing needs to be done to make sure that everything's done. So yeah, after season 2 is when we expect it. Next.
Perfect. DevConnect asks, will common avatars still be useful for season 2?
So common avatars, they're weird creatures, right? And they seem to be losing and gaining value in our minds, at least constantly. So initially you're like, yeah, what do I need? The commons, my goal is to get legendary. Suddenly the season closes, but then you realize, oh shit, I need commons if I'm gonna forge a bigger one. Now we're starting season 2, and we're seeing that, hey, probably season 1 commons could be a very good way to onboard people into the community, right? Because let's sort of, what would people want, right? Sort of to tell them, hey, come join us here. Tokens, free mints, or an avatar. So Awesome Ajuna Avatars could be useful in order to get a few people enticed for season 2. But no, Awesome Ajuna Avatars from season 1 will not be used in season 2.
Perfect. Yes, then here we got Maxim asking about the pilots, license, and ships. Will there will be different rare types
Yes,
for both pilot license and ships?
yes. So the intention here is that there's going to be different missions which have from different durations or different prerequisites to enter will also have different prerequisites both on the pilot level, so your Awesome Ajuna avatar, right? Sort of your legendary has to be, for example, kinetic, or it has to be solar. It could be a restriction like that. It could be that even your pilot license needs to be of a certain degree. So think a bit about, let's say, the game. I don't know if you guys ever played Gran Turismo, the driving game on the PlayStation, where uh, it looks awesome. It has all of these like supercars, but when you start, one of the first questions that they ask you is like, "Do you have a driving license?" And you're like, "What are you talking about? This is a video game." And part of its loop is these pilot license, right, or driving licenses, where each one that you unlock and progress will open you up to bigger, interesting, or more elaborate, let's say, adventures. So yeah, and for the ships, I will defer that for another session. What's going on with the ships? But yeah, there's going to be different ways that you're going to participate in different combinations of what you can do.
Cool. Milan as well, asking how to get the spaceship.
How to get a spaceship? So a spaceship, you will buy a spaceship, right? Sort of as any normal human being does. I don't know how, Milan, you get your spaceships. I go to my space dealership, I ask for one, and I pay for it. Sometimes they have an option, sometimes they don't. So pretty much the same thing, but we'll get into the spaceships um, a bit later. Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Another question. I saw this tweet. Does this
PR.
mean, by Prefte, does this mean that nested NFTs will be available in season 2? If yes, remark EVM implementation or Unique's network palette. So this looks like a question for Cedric. Does this mean nested NFTs will be available in season 2? Not necessarily. I mean, from what I understand is that because you see sort of the different parts, and how does that work. For now, I would keep sort of the distinction between sort of this still an in-game item, and how that will move in and out of the ecosystem and what you'll be able to do with it. Where I guess is sort of where your comment about the nested NFTs comes inside, is a different one. But yeah, there's different options that we're exploring of how we'll be able to go in and out of these things. Which at the end of the presentation, I don't know if I have something that I can show here. But yeah, next week we will be talking about. I think we're going to be talking about wildcard next week, which I'm not going to spoil too much about it. You all know that this is sort of the project that we've been working for quite some time now with Polycrypt. We're trying to get also somebody from the team in a call to be able to give a bit more context, but this is sort of where this becomes an end-to-end solution, right? Sort of you have your fun, you have your activities, you have your experiences within the Awesome Ajuna Avatars and other games, and then comes the time that you want to take these in-game assets, right? Tokenize them, make them into an NFT, and move them around. Whether that's you want to move them around to take them into a marketplace or do something else with them. Wildcard is sort of the solution that we're working on here, and I'll be able to share more next week. Next.
Super cool. Following up on the previous question from the same guy, do we expect to see adventures, missions in season 2? So it will be, as we said, after season 2, right?
Yep. So
So
seasons are going to be separate from adventures. Always there's going to be the intention is that there's going to be adventures ongoing from the minute that we start them. Let's say, which are going to, as I said, start probably a bit after season 2. After season 2 launches, a bit after that, we're going to start the seasons. Actually, maybe we could launch them at Decoded, but we will see. and then seasons will be there ongoing. I would say probably in an evergreen mode, so there'll be always there that you can access in between different seasons of the Awesome Ajuna Avatars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How to upgrade mini
Uh,
OG role to OG by astronauts? Great question. A number of different ways. So I would say again, go into the announcement channel or go into the OG onboarding channel. You'll be able to find a lot of information of how to do everything. Uh, Milan with a flex there saying that you need to be a legendary owner. It's true. You are a legendary owner, but no. You need a rare to be able to become an OG. But for the mini OGs, we have quite a specific role in the way that we're onboarding them right now. I think I mentioned it earlier. I'll go over it again. The idea is that for somebody new that's joining, we want to. They will have to come in. They'll have to DM us. They'll have to share with us their wallet address if they don't know or if they don't have one. We're more than happy. That's why we're asking them to DM us so we can help them to set up everything the way that it's needed. And at that point, once we've done that, we will send them a vested transfer of 20 Bayu, which unlock, I think, after 2 weeks. At which point they get the chance to a one-off, let's say, offer for them to buy an Awesome Ajuna avatar from season 1, and that will then make them eligible to become an OG. So why are we doing this? I think it's sort of pretty clear. What we want to make sure is that it might be a bit of a hustle, especially for somebody who's uninitiated, right? If somebody hasn't opened before Polkadot JS wallet, this is going to take, or a talisman world or whatever, taking somebody through that whole process and explaining to them takes time, but it is worth it because by the time that they have that Awesome Ajuna avatar in their wallet, yeah, they already have something that they put some time, we engage with them, and it means it has some value. So that's how you go from mini OG to OG. You can buy a rare, you can stick, get onboarded, wait for the 40 days and get your offer to buy one. And there's a third one that we're going to be doing some raffles, I think weekly. We'll see sort of how we're going to be doing that, where we're going to be giving out essentially an Awesome Ajuna avatar, which would make them eligible for an OG role. Next one by Alex. After the first season, many of my acquaintances became interested in the game, but it's hard for me to convince them that they didn't miss a lot without taking part in the first season. Maybe there will be some giveaways, promotions for new players. Actually, Alex, that's a really good question because it's now it's kind of frustrating, right? Because you want to invite people in and say, hey, look, I mean, there's the game and it was fun and I enjoyed it or whatever. So come here and play. But they really can't, right? Because they can't mint, they can't forge. They can't mint and they can't use their Bayu tokens. We have been discussing with both Theo and Cedric whether from now until season 2, there's an opportunity to open up, let's say, an instance of season 1 and to be able to share it with people that can play. But we need to be a bit careful of how we do that there. So one idea could be that we just open it for speed runs, right? So we just give fresh accounts and we tell people like, look, you have 2 hours, you play, and yeah, obviously nothing that happens in that game would be a part of the actual circulation of anything. And we'll sort of give prizes or give away an OG role for season 2. But yeah, we are trying to figure out ways how we can maybe use season 1 to still onboard people. Season 2 have same rules by Milan, clock, etc. No, it won't. It's different. It's going to have a. It's different. I'll leave it at that. You're gonna enjoy it. I think you're gonna. If you enjoyed season 1, you're gonna really dig the way that season 2 is working. Is there anything? What's the question by Squire? Is there anything you would have done different in season 1 in hindsight? Yes, that's another great question. Yes, in the sense that season one had, we were too fearful, I think, of will people play enough, right? Not how many people will play, but will people play enough? Is the game loop that's been created engaging enough to take enough people to legendary? So that's why from, as I said, from the first iteration of the game back in November, where it was quite click and upgrade, right? Not a lot of strategy behind it, quite fast, to all the way to the other side, we fell somewhere in the middle. Our expectation, this was a real sort of expectation, was that this was going to last anywhere from 3 to 5 weeks, right? In order to get to those that hard stop of the 888 legendaries. We did not expect that people would engage so much. And as a result, this ended in pretty much 5-6 days. Maybe we crossed on the 7th at that point, which is a great problem to have, right? Because it had an abrupt ending because it successfully reached its end goal, which was to forge 888 legendary Awesome Ajuna Avatars. In hindsight, I think if we had found a way to make that loop or make the duration of the gameplay longer, that would have been one optimization that we could have done. In hindsight, another thing that we could have done, we probably didn't have time, but it would have been cool, was the mobile version, or being able to access it on mobile is a big thing, right? Because most people, we interact primarily with our mobile device, even in gaming. And it's important, but it's still quite a broken experience, because now most of us are quite used to using anything that's beyond the browser, right, that we use for surfing on our mobile phone. We're used to using apps, right? Even YouTube, there's an app for it, or anything else, there's an app for it. For us, this would have to be browser-based, which has sort of different things that we need to think about. And we'll get there. So in hindsight, it would be cool if we could have it for mobile. I don't think we could. And if we could have extended the duration of season one by, a week or two, that would have been great.
People asking for the Quest 3. Actually, you guys can expect the Quest 3 for next Monday, probably even earlier. So yeah, you can prepare your munition to
we had
really get those XP.
That's a good point. This week we didn't get out the quests as we did last week. We will resume as normal from next week. Man on the Moon, Nova Wallet. I guess you're saying for mobile. I guess that's sort of what we could do here. So I mean, this season, whether that's Fearless Wallet or Nova Wallet, hopefully we're gonna get a better chance to test season 2 with other wallets of the ecosystem, or who support our ecosystem. And if we get the chance to see how it worked last time. I know that Man on the Moon. I know that it worked last time. We ourselves pretty much found out just by testing it, because we never optimized for it. I think that's what I was trying to say here, that we never optimized for mobile. We will look into it, and if we can get the guys from Nova or Fearless, right, to work a bit with us and see how we can get this done in a good way, that's good. So if you know anybody from Nova, tell them to give us a call. So any other question? I think we can take maybe a couple of more, and then sort of I'll give a last just update how we're gonna do the legendary giveaway. Let's see what else is here. Can any one of us test season 2 before launch? Let me see. We need gas for spaceships later. If yes, what will it be? So Gas for spaceship. That's a good question. But I've dodged all spaceship questions, right? I've successfully dodged all of them and said that we're going to get into how spaceships work next time. Again, think all of you how you operate your own spaceships in real life, and you'll be closer to the answer. What was the other one that I mentioned? By Milan. When can I start testing season two? Season two, I think. I mean, internal testing should probably start in the coming weeks, not too far. So I would probably say in a week or two, we're going to start internally, and then we move, continuing working then and improving on the sort of UI, UX, and tightening things up. I think by the time that we want to balance things, in terms of the gameplay, we will invite a few to play, but it's going to be a few. It's not going to be like season one where we had sort of a bit of an open people to test it out. It's going to be a bit more selective this time, I think, around because we want it to be targeted so we can get the information, and plus we don't want to spoil sort of too much for the rest. But yes, we will do a bit of that too. Let's see, a couple more last questions. Soul points could be gas. That's could be gas. Yeah. So I don't see we have any more questions, but I leave you with a couple of things that I think are important. Bring your friend and get rewarded, right? That's sort of our OG onboarding that we're doing. You're all more than welcome to help. If you have any ideas, pitch them to us. We're here to listen and see what we can do. Go over our content. You'll see there's quite a lot of things there that you can share. We are, you know, a visual medium. We have games, so we should use the content and go out. We don't have to be shouting so much about our token. We can be shouting about our Awesome Ajuna Avatars. We can be showing our cool videos. We can be showing our game and try to get people inside. Bring people, invite them to Discord. They can get in a chat with us. We're fun people. We talk even to everybody that sort of comes in and just throws us their by you address. And yeah, if you're seeing this, don't do that, right? Say hi. Say, hey, hi. I'm this, and I want to play. Don't jump in and just give me your by you address. Say hi first, right? We want to be, you know, dined first, and then we get to give you your reward. Let's be nice. So I think that's what I want to. Yeah, if you can, anything that you can all do to support, we're super thankful for it, and we'll find ways to see how we can incentivize you. Now, for the legendary, I can't tell you that there's a super plan behind it of how we're gonna do it, but I think I can tell you this: that we will get it off the market, right? This is not some. I'm not giving one of mine away, right? I like mine, so I will get. Ajuna team is gonna get one off the market. And I think the best way that we can do it is that if you can, Matteo has a snapshot and we can see sort of who joined the call, and we will go inside our Discord probably, I would say maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure if we can do that. We'll aim to do it tomorrow and essentially do a raffle. Maybe I'll ask Cedric to do the raffle and pick randomly somebody. So we'll take all of your IDs, we'll throw them in a spinner raffle something, and somebody's gonna get a legendary and enjoy it. Yeah. So I think that's it from us. I hope you enjoyed another weekly. I hope you're lucky and you get the legendary Awesome Ajuna Avatar. If you get it, show it to us. You know, brag about it. We want to see it, and we'll share the rest of the information on it here. Next week, please look forward next week for when we're going to hopefully be joined by the team from Polycrypt and get into Wildcard. It's a really interesting project. It's a really interesting technical implementation of what we're doing to achieve what we're trying to achieve here, which is worth taking. And we've been working with these people quite some time. Again, we're listed on Gate. That's our second exchange, gate.io, which you can go there, sign up if you haven't already. and do your thing, as they say. And see you all next week, and enjoy the rest of your day.
See you guys. Thanks for joining.